As we have seen every year, press freedom the world over has deteriorated. And we've seen a record number of journalists who are imprisoned for their work. And this year in sub-Saharan Africa, it's no different. We have about 45, at least 45 journalists in jail for their work. We believe that the number is in fact higher. We continue to research and to see whether the others that we are aware of are in fact in jail because of their work. Eritrea remains the worst jailer of journalists in sub-Saharan Africa. We've had journalists in jail since 20 years ago, right? This is the 20th anniversary of the crackdown of the independent press by the Eritrean government. So we have 16 journalists, many of them who are being held without trial. So one of the most disappointing trends in sub-Saharan Africa is the reappearance of Ethiopia as the second worst jailer of journalists in sub-Saharan Africa. And it's a case of, you know, a hope of a nation that we saw in 2018 when there was a new prime minister and that there was going to be reforms, that everyone believed that there were going to be reforms, and we saw those reforms. But we had seen other journalists in and out of jail. In 2020, this increased to 7. This year, it has increased to at least 9, and we are investigating a couple of other cases. So Ethiopia is now the second worst jailer of journalists. And why is this? We have a civil war that has been going on for a year, and we have seen the government crack down. So throughout the year, we have had journalists in and out of jail. We've had the suspension of news outlets. When CPJ comes out to advocate on behalf of journalists, it's not because we're only concerned about journalists. It's because we know that at the end of the day, what is at stake is the access to information of citizens throughout the world. Without journalism, you do not have access to credible information. And that is why we fight as we do, because ultimately the right to freedom of the press and freedom of expression is the right of every citizen in this world,